Hi everyone, I hope you're all doing well and thanks for being here. It has been a little while since my last reading. I've actually had this one ready for a few days, but I didn't get a chance to record it. So sometimes I see those kinds of delays as spirit deciding when the time is right for a particular reading. Now, as you can tell from the title, this one is touching on a sensitive topic that might be quite close to home for some. But I guess it is a for somebody reading, and those readings are meant to be readings that hit home for certain people. I absolutely don't want to upset anyone with this reading, so if you feel like you might benefit from doing some energy healing, cleansing, or protection before you watch the video, please do that. Now, those are things I do very regularly, so I do believe they work. And in terms of the reading, I don't choose the subjects. I kind of pull the cards, and I trust that Spirit gives me the cards that I get, and I trust that Spirit guides me as I'm channeling the messages coming through. So as always, this is intended to be a timeless reading. That's for somebody out there. My intention is that it finds the person or people it's meant for and at the right time. It's definitely not for everyone, so if the storyline that emerges isn't resonating with you, it's probably not for you. You can still watch the whole reading because it's always an intention of mine that anyone who's drawn to one of my readings will gain something from it, whether that's an insight, a piece of wisdom, or just the opportunity to see something from a different perspective. So if you happen to be here, I think you're meant to be here. That's my dog barking, hope you don't mind. Anyway, we'll get started. We'll just do our love pause first. This is where we pause the video and we send some love out into the universe. You can also do a little ho'oponopono prayer instead. This involves saying the 4 sentences: thank you, I love you, I'm sorry, and please forgive me. Thanks to everyone who does this. The time to pause is now, and I'll start my reading on the next slide. I might just quickly check on my dog before I start the next slide. See you there. Would you believe my dog was fine as soon as I stopped recording that last slide? Always the way, hey? But okay, so this is our spread for this reading. And if you're interested in the decks I've used, I will have them listed in the description box. And I'm going to apologize for my voice as well. I've got a bit of a seasonal sniffle. I don't think it's quite winter yet, no, but yeah, it's getting cold here. All right. So starting at the bottom of the deck, we have the devil. Yeah, exactly. So that's definitely a tough energy to have at the bottom of the deck. And devil energy is really about control, and that can operate in different ways. So people might be controlled by greed, temptation, or addiction, or they might be controlled by fear, insecurity, feelings of inadequacy. And metaphorically speaking, the devil has these people where he wants them. They have to do what they're doing. They aren't really free to do anything else. And in the traditional image for the devil card, the people are there in their chains, and their appearance has actually started to change and become more devil-like. So they are chained to that darkness, and they're losing their own light. So they're becoming more devil-like in their own nature. And can they break free of those chains? Yes, but to do that, they would have to recognize that they are stuck in an unhealthy attachment to something or someone, and they would have to then cut that connection and move away from it. And as we know from the example of addictions, that's a long journey. It takes a lot of strength and determination, and the person really has to make sure that they never turn back to the pull of the thing that they've left behind. So if we were talking about a reformed alcoholic, they kind of have to make a lifelong commitment to remaining sober, because if they did allow themselves to start drinking again, they could easily just fall back into the pit that they were in before. And interestingly, the AA 12 Steps model even advocates faith in a higher power, I believe. So faith in God is always seen as something that can give someone the courage and the strength to break free from these kinds of chains. It gives them the courage and strength to choose a higher path and stay on that path. So that is quite a heavy start with the devil energy. It is a Capricorn card, so maybe that's relevant for someone. The card we've got in the past position is the King of Wands. This is fire sign energy. I tend to read it as a Leo card. And really this is about someone who is very charismatic and passionate. They're a natural leader. They can charm people and win them over. They can inspire people to follow them. And I guess if someone like this is in devil energy, that's a dangerous combination. So they can play games, mind games, seduction, manipulation, love bombing, emotional blackmail, coercion, all that sort of stuff. They can make people trust them. They can make people believe in them. They can make people fall in love with them. So this, what I'm getting through is like quite a distorted King of Wands energy. And that's actually quite a toxic energy. It's also dangerous because I'm thinking of people like Charles Manson and those cult leaders who, are really dangerous people. So they're people who trap others in their little webs and convince those people to do things that they really wouldn't have done otherwise. So I just feel like this is someone who is in devil energy. They know what they're doing. They like what they're doing. They like deceiving and trapping people and controlling them and manipulating them. They like having people do their bidding. They love how easy it is for them to fool people and influence them. They feel powerful when they have people doing what they want. They like to own people, so those people have no personal freedom or agency over their lives. They like to break people down and erode their self-esteem and confidence so that they lose the ability to be independent. So this is the darkness that is showing up here in the past position. Someone very narcissistic, sociopathic, someone actually quite evil. Now, this is in the past position, but I don't think it's your energy. I think it's actually showing up as the dominant energy in the past position because it was the dominant energy in your past. There was someone like this and they were controlling you. And your energy at that point was actually so weak and so subdued that it can't even show up here as something separate from that other person. You were doing what they wanted you to do. So your past energy was them. You were the creature that was serving them and pleasing them. You were not your own person. You were their puppet. So what you did served their best interests, not yours. And I don't know how long you had that attachment to the devil, and maybe it's still there potentially, but that connection made you weaker and it stole your light. So you were becoming like those people in the devil card who are losing their light and becoming creatures of the dark, I guess. In the present position, we have the Queen of Cups, and this is a very different energy. This is someone empathic, compassionate, and kind. And this big contrast in energies makes me think of the empath narcissist paradigm, which is to do with how empaths attract narcissists and energy vampires into their lives. So that is probably what did happen here. So you might have been the empath and it drew this charming devil person to you and it made them want to control you and feed off your light and off your energy. So they saw that they could actually use your light and your energy for their benefit. And because you were such a loving person, all they had to do was convince you to love them. So they could then, like with your energy, with your light, they could use it in a way that would allow them to succeed in life. And so that's what they did. And over time, because of the nature of this connection, it just drained you of your light and your energy. It weakened you. And really the only way to recover from this kind of thing is to get away from the narcissist and cut off their access to your energy. So it's exactly like if something was feeding off your blood. I mean, you would end up dead if you didn't stop that thing feeding off you. So energy vampires, they do need other people's energy. So they will just feed on people until there's nothing left or until they find a better option. So if they couldn't get your energy, they would have been looking for the next person straight away. On the other hand, if you ended it with them and you were able to recover, that would definitely get them re-interested in you because they know how good your energy was. So I think this is often why toxic exes tend to come crawling back just when you're getting your life back on track. I think they can sense that you've got something to offer them again. And so going back to that alcoholic example, just like the alcoholic has to avoid alcohol permanently, if you've left someone like this, you kind of have to stay away from them permanently because they would love nothing more than to have another go. And you definitely don't need that experience again. At this point, I'm being drawn to that middle oracle card because there is a woman there who looks quite drained. So I feel like this is maybe what did happen to you. This card is from a healing deck and it's titled Negativity. So if you're this Queen of Cups, you've been healing from this devil experience that you've had. Now, this is the number 17 card, which is the number of the Star card in Tarot. And the Star card is also about healing and recovering from something bad, but it's also about being hopeful about the future being better. Now, the first oracle card there is also, it's titled The Healer, and I'm drawn to the similarities between that image and the image on the Queen of Cups. So I do feel like you are a healer, and as you heal from your past, you will become someone who can help others with their healing. The keywords on this first oracle card are cleanse, grieve, grow, and heal. Yeah, so what you gain from that terrible experience is the ability to heal yourself and also heal others who've been harmed by people like this. The third oracle card here is titled Illuminating the Truth. So this is about having clarity about what you experienced, and that can actually be a challenge if you've dealt with someone who was a master manipulator. So you might find that you still doubt yourself, you still wonder if you've maybe just misunderstood the whole situation. And that can happen because these people, they really do a number on you psychologically. So they do lots of things. They might start off by love bombing you and convincing you that they're wonderful and that you're meant to be with them. And then they might convince you that the other people in your life are problematic so they can isolate you and have you to themselves. And, then they might start trying to convince you that you need them and you couldn't manage without them. But really the point I'm making is because you start off thinking they're wonderful, you tend to forgive them when they do something that isn't right. You tend to think that the thing they did was out of character for them, or that they were somehow provoked into behaving that way. Sometimes it falls on you, like they'll blame you by saying that it's your actions that push them to do the out of character thing that they did. And then, of course, if they ever sense it, you're put out and you might leave them, they'll try and get back on your good side with more demonstrations of how wonderful they truly are. And this kind of abuse also means that they're undermining your confidence. So, you might have been subjected to deception and gaslighting for a very, very long time. So what I think happens is that even when you get out of this toxic cycle, there might be a part of you that still wants to believe that wonderful version of them exists because you were so convinced that was the real them right from the start. So I hate to say it, but if any of this is resonating for you, you probably were taken in by a master manipulator, and you might need to actually just accept that. So don't give them the benefit of the doubt or feel sorry for them or give them another chance if they're trying to come back into your life. If you've healed and regained some of your light, they probably do want to come back to you so they can use you again, feed off you again. So the only one who's really going to stop this from happening is you, because they're always going to be interested in your energy if you have it. So you need to be the one who puts a stop to it. You need to be strong enough to do that. So if you have managed to get this person out of your life, you shouldn't let them back in. So just like with that AA example, you just need to ask God to give you the strength and clarity to always see this person clearly and resist their attempts to pull you back into the toxic situation that you've just managed to get yourself out of. So it's just like the alcoholic, don't fall back into that pit that you have climbed out of. So invite God into your life and pray for the strength to make a new start and to remain committed to that new start. You will definitely not find peace and happiness in a future with this kind of person. And really it's because they are not wonderful, not at all. They're in devil energy. All they care about is how they can use you and what they can get out of you. They don't care about you or what's in your best interests, not even a little bit. They are bad news. They are not good for you. On the other hand, God wants you to know true peace and happiness and freedom, and you will find that by following God. Don't doubt that at all. Now, this particular card, this pink oracle card, there is an affirmation on the back of the card. I might just read it to you. So it says, I'm willing to see things clearly, no matter the outcome. Yeah, so you need to see things clearly and make the right decisions for you. And with this affirmation, I am getting the feeling that you might have to make some difficult decisions, or you might have already made those decisions. So maybe you've had to walk out of your home or your job, or you've had to lose money or compromise your children's livelihoods. I don't know what nature of this, so I don't know what kind of relationship you've had with this individual, but depending on how long you were connected to them, you could have ended up quite entangled with them. Maybe you married them or had children with them. You might have bought a house with them or started a business with them. And this is another reason why faith in God is so important, because you need to be able to walk away from everything that connects you to this person. And the way to do that is to put your faith in God. Ask God to take care of you and support you and keep you safe. Ask God to guide you to the help you need and to a better future. Put your trust in God and believe that you will be okay. And whenever you're feeling like things are hard, whatever challenges you're facing, ask God for help, ask your angels for help. I know with the difficult times I've been through in my life, this is exactly what I did. I just asked for help. And really, no matter what the story was, I have always managed to get through it. So never forget that you have support in the spiritual realm and you only have to ask for it. And also another thing is, no matter how bad things get, always say thank you for the things that do go well. So say thank you to God for all the positive interactions and experiences that you have every day. I genuinely believe that when you're grateful for the good people and the good experiences, that's what you'll start attracting more of. But with regards to this situation, the main point is to not let your fears keep you trapped with someone who is not good for you, and to not let your fears make you go back to someone who is not good for you. Okay, just one card to go. The last tarot card here is the Two of Pentacles. When I first saw it in the spread, I was thinking, what? That doesn't seem like a strong enough card for this storyline. But I think it's making a lot more sense to me now. With what I've just said, I think that you are going to leave the old situation behind and go it alone if you haven't already done that. So the Two of Pentacles is about someone who has a lot going on that they have to manage. It's someone who's juggling a number of responsibilities, essentially. And the main message I'm getting from this is that you're going to leave this situation. You're going to find there is going to be a lot for you to manage, okay? But you are actually going to manage it. So when you look at this image, you can see that there are spirit guides here. So you've got your spirit guides helping you, and they will help you as much as they can. And you just need to keep asking for their assistance. But the other cool thing about this image is that this person is actually standing on the toes of one foot as they're doing this juggling. And they look so poised and balanced in this image. So there's a monkey there in this image too. And the whole thing is making me think about a professional juggler who's putting on a show. And I feel like that's saying that you're going to actually be very good at juggling everything. You're going to look confident, competent. You're going to make it all look effortless. Other people are going to see you doing it all and be very impressed with the fact that you can do it all and make it look so easy. So I don't know, maybe you're just someone who's very efficient or someone who has excellent organizational skills. So you will have a lot on your plate, but it's not going to be too hard for you to do. And I'm thinking back to the experience you had with that master manipulator character, because they might have tried to make you believe that you needed them and you couldn't make it on your own. And I think in the future you will realize that that was a whole lot of nonsense. In fact, I can't remember where I heard it. Maybe it was something to do with abusive relationships. But someone said that if anyone tells you that you can't manage without them, it's usually the opposite that's true. And it makes total sense when you think about it. I mean, if you really were a useless, a hopeless case, why would they be trying so hard to keep you or win you back? They would just drop you and move to someone better, wouldn't they? So the truth is that they probably know very well that they won't find anyone better, and that's why they want to trap you and bind you to them and make sure you never leave. And I'm glad I that came up. I'm glad I said that, because if you're out there believing that you're limited in some way because that person said so, I hope you just got that they were totally BSing you. You're the one that doesn't need them. You're the one that was stuck with someone who was making life hard for you, you know. They didn't have that. You weren't making their life harder. They were making your life harder. And maybe that's actually why you're thriving in this Two of Pentacles energy. So maybe in the past you struggled to do things because this person was draining you of your energy and making you anxious and making you depressed and messing with your mind. But now that you're not dealing with them, you have access to all your energy and no one's messing with it. And that means you have plenty of energy to do all of these things. And you can even enjoy doing all of these things that you're doing. So you might have walked away thinking that you were an underachiever, but the truth is you were actually doing bloody well for someone who was dealing with an energy vampire and a toxic person. And when you get that monkey off your back, you're going to be handling life like a pro. And as I said that, I realized that maybe that monkey on that Two of Pentacles card is significant. Maybe that monkey was the monkey that was previously on your back. That's something, isn't it? You really can't make this stuff up. But I'm looking at this monkey now, and it looks like its attention is focused on the butterfly on its nose. So maybe Spirit is going to keep this monkey off your back by sending this person some distractions that are going to occupy their attention. And that's going to mean that you won't be too bothered by them in the future. And I guess if we're talking about someone like an ex-partner that you share kids with, that would definitely be a blessing, wouldn't it? So Spirit, if this person is around, please keep distracting them with other things. That would be awesome. Because, yeah, you definitely don't need them in your life. And I think things would be a lot better for you if they just never got the opportunity to come for you. Hey, if they're just always distracted with some other thing. I think that would be great. Yes, please, Spirit. I actually thought I was done, but I just got reminded that I hadn't even touched on boundaries. And I think that's to do with making sure you learn how to keep these types of people away from you in the future. So that empath narcissist paradigm isn't meant to be a lifelong curse. You're just meant to learn from these experiences, learn to look after yourself better. So you can have a kind and caring nature without compromising yourself, and that's what you have to learn. So that might sound like you have to start being more selfish, but really the truth is that you're actually at one end of this spectrum, and in order to get yourself back into balance, you probably do have to start being a little bit selfish. It really isn't healthy to be so nice that other people can walk all over you and exploit you and push you around. It is healthy to have boundaries that protect your energy and allow you to live your life the way you choose to. So if you've had this experience once, make sure you learn from it. Don't go back to this person, but also don't allow another person to do the same thing to you. Be better. So, yeah, definitely work out what matters to you. Set some boundaries up so those things are always protected. Your energy is protected. Your choices are protected. Those are not things that you should be giving away to other people. You're meant to be free. Okay. And that's it, everyone. Sorry for my voice in this video. I feel like it's been quite croaky at times. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed the reading. If you enjoyed the reading, please give the video a like. If you enjoy my work, please consider subscribing to the channel. To everyone who's already subscribed, thank you so much for your support. It means the world to me. As I mentioned earlier, the decks are listed in the description box, and that's true for all my older readings as well. And that's it. Take care, everyone. I hope to see you again in another video. See ya. Bye.